Dallas Cowboys are standing at a crossroads, and every true fan can feel it in their bones. This isn't just another week of rumors. This is about legacy, pride, and what comes next for America's team. Because when you start hearing that the Cowboys might actually move on from Trevon Diggs, one of the biggest names in our secondary, it shakes you. It stirs something deep inside every member of Cowboys Nation. But maybe, just maybe, this is the kind of bold storm that turns into a spark of redemption. Let's be real. This season hasn't gone how any of us expected. The defense that once struck fear into offenses across the league has looked lost, bruised, and at times broken. But what we're hearing now out of Dallas from sources like Sports Illustrated, NFL Network, and ESPN insiders is that Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer are not sitting on their hands. They're looking at every angle, exploring every move, and yes, that includes the possibility of a trade involving Trevon Diggs. And listen, I get it. It sounds wild. Trevon Diggs was supposed to be one of the cornerstones of this defense. He's been a highlight machine, a ball hawk, a player who electrified the field with game-changing interceptions. But according to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, there's been tension, real tension, between Diggs and the Cowboys front office. It started back in the offseason when he rehabbed from knee surgery away from the team and got docked $500,000. Then came the benching, the frustration with the defensive scheme, and whispers that he just hasn't been on the same page with the new leadership since Micah Parsons left. So yeah, this isn't about talent. This is about chemistry. It's about who's buying in and who's not. Schottenheimer and defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus are trying to reshape this defense from the ground up. Not just with stars, but with soldiers who believe in the mission. And that mission is clear: restore Dallas defense to dominance. If that means making hard calls, trading big names, or rebalancing contracts, then so be it. Because this team isn't interested in paper potential anymore. They're hunting for real identity. Let's talk numbers. Diggs is still making $8.5 million this season, with his contract set to skyrocket to $20 million in 2028. But here's the kicker. There's no guaranteed money after this season. None. That means the Cowboys have the power to move, to reshape, to reset without being financially handcuffed. If Jerry and Stephen Jones play this right, Dallas could open up over $50 million in future cap space. You know what that means? Flexibility, power, and the ability to bring in players who fit this system and this locker room. And make no mistake, there are players who want to be here. Guys like Kenny Clark, George Pickens, James Houston. They're fighting, grinding, and showing heart every single week. The Cowboys aren't quitting on the season. They're recalibrating. They're fighting smarter, not just harder. It's easy to panic when you hear a name like Trevon Diggs on the trade block. But remember this: every great Cowboys era started with the defining moment, when the team chose direction over distraction. When leadership stepped up and said, "We're not afraid to evolve." This could be that moment again. Maybe this isn't about losing Diggs. Maybe this is about gaining a defense that believes again. A defense that executes, communicates, and plays with fire. Because the one thing Schottenheimer has made clear: if you're in Dallas, you play for the star, not for yourself. And that's what gets me fired up. Because through all the noise, you can feel it. Jerry Jones is not done. He's watching the deadline closely. He's got that look in his eye again, and he's not afraid to pull the trigger if it makes this team better right now. Whether that means trading for Trey Hendrickson, restructuring Diggs, or bringing in another veteran leader, this front office is not coasting through 2025. And Cowboys Nation, that's what we've been asking for: action. Not excuses, not press conferences, but bold decisions that show this team still believes it can win. Because let's be honest, this season isn't over. The NFC East is still within reach. The wild card is still alive. And if this defense can find its edge again, the Dallas Cowboys can flip the script in November. So here's what I say: don't panic, watch. Because what's happening right now isn't a breakdown. It's a rebuild with purpose. Jerry Jones isn't throwing in the towel. He's reloading for another shot. And this team still has warriors who can carry that star with pride. Cowboys Nation, rise up. The noise, the rumors, the headlines, they don't define us. What defines us is the fight left in this locker room and in every fan watching. Because being a Cowboy means believing even when the world counts you out. So now I want to hear from you. Should the Cowboys move Trevon Diggs and reshape this defense, or keep him in the fold and make one more run at redemption? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more raw reactions and real Cowboys talk. Because here on Dallas Game Day, we don't flinch, we don't fold, we fight for the star. And this team, this story, isn't finished yet. This is Dallas Game Day, signing off and reminding every fan out there that the storm in Dallas isn't the end. It's the beginning of something new. And when the smoke clears, the Cowboys will rise. Believe that.